I never get sick of talking about it.
Undefeated in 31 bouts, scoring 25 knockouts, here is Muhammad Ali.
In fact, a girl that I'm seeing, she just had her family at my place a little while ago, and I had to ask the dad, because I love speaking to men overseas that are over 50 to get their perspective of what Ali-Frazier meant.
Yeah.
Undefeated in 26 bouts, scoring 23 knockouts, the heavyweight champion of the world, Joe Frazier.
And the engagement, you saw the picture. He knew where he was on March 8th, 1971. The world stopped that night.
Wow.
It was the only time the Vietnam War stopped, when Ali and Frazier got in the ring, the two greatest undefeated heavyweight kings.
Yeah.
That's how impactful they were, politically, culturally, historically. It was so much more than boxing.
Joe Frazier and Muhammad Ali meeting.
Yeah.
Can you give us an overview of that story? It's just such a legendary, timeless moment that happened.
It's so special. I got a call from Lonnie Ali, and she said, Muhammad wants to have dinner with you guys. Can you, Joe and Marvis, come? And Joe was in the mood. He was ready. He was in Philadelphia, his hometown. He felt comfortable. He didn't think Ali was going to screw him over.
Because you tried to set it up before that.
Tried setting up, and Joe wouldn't do it. They wanted to take us to the Ali premiere and ride in the limo with Will Smith and Muhammad, and Joe went nuts. He wanted no part of it. It's the only time I ever got in a fight with him over the phone. Hung up on me, and yeah, the hurt was so bad. The distrust was so bad.
That's crazy.
And he goes, you tell that motherfucker, if he wants to meet me, it's got to be on my goddamn turf. I'm like, we make it sound like you guys are still fighting. He goes, I'll knock that son of a... It's like, all right. I just let it go. And... so I got the call, and I had to go back to the room for a couple hours to get changed. And the only thing I knew how to do was to get high.
Okay.
Because I couldn't believe this was going down.
Yeah.
So I chopped up a bunch of Percocets and Vicodins, and I snorted them. Because how could Darren Prince, this Jewish kid with a learning disability from suburbia New Jersey, be in a position right now where Nelson Mandela, presidents, the biggest musical stars, athletes on the planet, would do anything to be in that room? How am I the one that's orchestrating this right now? And I didn't feel worthy for a second, yet these two kings of kings, loved and respected me more than I ever loved and respected myself.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's an insane lesson right there. Huge takeaway. Can you, at that point then, because I know initially they sat together in the stands, right? But you were sitting in the middle of it.
I was sitting dead center courtside with them.
Yeah. And so Joe leans over to you and says what?
So we walk into the stadium, and it's nuts. Diddy's there with his son Justin at the time, Jay-Z, Beyonce. It was mayhem. Justin Timberlake's dating Britney Spears. Everyone's trying to get near them.
Plus all the NBA stars.
I got Michael Jordan at center court with Allen Iverson and Kobe, and they're like this. They're looking at us like they just can't even believe what's going on. And so, but what happened was first I walk in, and it's me, Joe, and my boy Nick Cardasco, who's one of my business partners and agent. So I'm in seat 2, Joe's in seat 3, and Nick's in seat 4. Place is going bananas when Joe walks in. Lionel Richie, everybody's attacking him. We had to get security around him to keep the celebrities away because it got so bad.
Wow.
It's his hometown. It's the king of Philly, And all of a sudden you start hearing the chant. And there was nothing like him. I've been in the building with it, and I've seen the biggest stars in the world become kids. You hear the Ali, and he's coming, he's shaking, he's got this red polo sweater on, and he's with Howard Bing, his best friend, his late photographer who just passed away. And man, it was just to be there. And then Muhammad sits right down next to me. I was like, I can't believe this is in 145 countries right now. And he goes like this to me. And Howard leans over, gives me a fist pound. I'm freaking out. By the way, I was high. Because again, how can I deal with this?
You have to have the high.
Joe leans over. I'll never forget it. I go, yeah. He goes, your boss, man. This is what you call me. He goes, switch with me. And I'm out of my effing mind. I'm like, oh my God, it's going down right here. And I literally start crying. Even Nick, we're just like, oh my God, like I can't believe now for the world to see. And so now it's Joe Muhammad. Alicia Keys is singing the America the Beautiful, and she looks at both of them like this, just blowing kisses, because she can't even believe that she's got this opportunity now. It took over the game. It took over the biggest all-star game in all the sports. and Muhammad's holding up Joe, vice versa, Joe's holding up Muhammad, and I mean, they're totally entwined, and everybody sits, and because it was a little bit hard for Muhammad to sit because he was overweight, and Joe had to lock his leg in, he was bloated from the medication for Parkinson's. They were literally the last two standing, and the spotlight just goes on them. Wow. And the place erupts. Everybody gets up again. You see Michael and Diddy comes over with his son, and they were just, this is just history. Yeah. And the classiest, most beautiful man I ever met in my life, Muhammad goes like this. This is tough for me to get out, but he goes, champ. And Joe leans over, he goes, yeah, champ. I was like, oh my God, they just acknowledge each other, the highest respect, to call each other champ in that moment. And back and forth was just, he goes, we're still two bad brothers, aren't we? And I was like, oh, it was just so, they were just,
it was like a movie script.
They were, I've seen Pacino, De Niro, Spielberg, Dustin Hoffman, Mel Gibson. I've seen them all, like literally little kids around these guys. Yeah. So when I see other celebrities now that don't have that couth, that way to deal with your fans, like, it was just most amazing. I mean, they were just cut from a different cloth. They were just so classy. They were the first ones to get to an airport. Every single kid, every single autograph, every single photograph, they would spend time with people. They knew they were kings for a reason, you know? Yeah. And they changed the world, you know? Just to experience that in that moment, just to see the conversations that was going on and the look, and they're holding hands. And it was, you know, still to this day, it's the greatest professional experience I'll ever have. Yeah. Nothing I'll ever come close to it.